John Hardy of the John Hardy Company from Evanston, Illinois. And I'm here at the AES convention, the 2009 edition. I have my usual roundup of equipment here, my M-1 mic preamp, which is the preamp that I came out with in 1987. And 22 years later, I'm still making the very same mic preamp, but it still is one of the finest mic preamps made, using the very best of the Jensen input transformers, the JT16B, the 990C discrete op amp. The circuit was actually designed by Deane Jensen of Jensen Transformers. And optionally, although everybody gets it these days, is the very best of the Jensen output transformers, the JT11BMQ. They are absolutely the best input and output transformers on the planet, and they're great. One more feature of these preamps is there are no coupling capacitors anywhere in the signal path, so the audio does not suffer the consequences of possible smearing, which capacitors can do. So this one came out, the M1 came out in 1987. About a year and a half later, Deane Jensen approached me and asked if I'd be willing to build a preamp to his specifications using the M1 packaging as the format. And from that came the Jensen Twin-Servo, which is this mic preamp here. The main difference between them is that the Twin-Servo, obviously the number 2 in there somewhere, uses 2 of the 990C discrete op amps, which can be an advantage if you have extremely high gain requirements. A 2-stage design might give you a little bit less distortion, a little bit wider bandwidth than trying to do it all with just one op amp, pushing a single op amp to very high gain. In the Twin-Servo, each op amp provides half as much gain, so you get the same total gain, but each op amp is working at a much more relaxed gain range, half as much gain. So at this year's convention, I have an announcement at least, and I'm very close to having product ready to ship. You probably can't see much here, but it's the first card I'm coming up with is a version of the Jensen Twin-Servo 990 mic preamp that will plug directly into the 500 series racks, also known as the API lunchbox format. So production should begin, I'm saying about early December for that. So this brings the essence of the original Jensen Twin-Servo that we were just talking about to the 500 series format. So that'll be coming out probably early December. And shortly after that, I'll have versions of my other mic preamp, the M1, and a variation of the M1, which is the M2 mic preamp, which has a mic preamp card, the same mic preamp card as the M1, but there's a different gain control. This has a 16-position rotary switch in there instead of potentiometers. So if you like resettable and matchable gain, the M2 is a good choice. If you like to be able to adjust gain during a performance, or make minute changes or get specific gains, you can do that better with the M1 because it's continuously variable. So that's the main thing that I have to offer, the main products that I have here. There's some mic preamp cards that I have that retrofit into certain consoles, but the M1 and the Jensen Twin-Servo and offshoots of those are my main product, and I'm sure you'll enjoy them. Thank you very much. I'm speaking into a Sanken CU41 microphone. Sanken is S-A-N-K-E-N, model CU41. These are extremely high quality Japanese microphones, and this is plugged into my M1 microphone, or mic preamp, I'm sorry. And these microphones are actually strictly cardioid pattern. They have 2 capsules in them, a small one and a large one. Small one is above the large one. So that, in theory, gives you the best of both worlds, the transient response of a small capsule and the bass response, low-end response of a large capsule. These have very flat response. Each mic has its own response curve included with it, and it's almost ruler flat. It's plus or minus a dB or 2, something like that. So this is a Sanken CU41 through an M1 mic preamp, and we will now try a CU41 through a Jensen Twin-Servo mic preamp. I am now speaking through another Sanken CU41, but they are extremely well matched. But this CU41 is going through a Jensen Twin-Servo 990 mic preamp, which is the other main mic preamp that I manufacture. That was a collaborative effort between the folks at Jensen Transformers and myself. It came out about a year and a half after the M1 mic preamp came out. Both preamps are very similar. They use the same input transformers, the same discrete op amps, the 990C, the same output transformers. There are no coupling capacitors anywhere in the signal path. Therefore, they should sound virtually identical, but there are people who think that they prefer one or the other, and other people prefer the other one, things like that. So your mileage may vary, you never know, but I make both preamps. They have their perhaps strengths and weaknesses. The Jensen might be better at extremely high gain. The M1 is a simpler preamp that I tend to recommend more often than the Jensen, but at least you've had an opportunity to listen to two Sanken microphones, one through the M1, the other through the Jensen Twin-Servo 990 mic preamp, and you make the call.